Hi, I'm Hannah Boyer and I serve interior designers as a virtual assistant. And one of the services that I offer is Dubsado Setup, specifically for interior designers. So I wanted to walk through today what Dubsado can do for your business and how to use it on a more functional level. So let's get started. First, here is your dashboard. This is going to give you an overview of all the things. Your calendar can be connected to Dubsado and to your Google account. So when those are combined, it's going to allow your calendar to check for any duplications, right? So it's not going to double book you for something that you already have on your schedule. Here is your financials. It has tasks that would be attached to your workflow. And then these are your financial things. This is where you would come in to countersign or any just kind of high level things that you need to do for your particular clients. The next page is your project page, and this is where your clients will live. So right through here, this is again a high level look at where all your clients are. So in this customization bar, you can create any sort of status that you choose. So whether it's discovery call scheduled, consultation scheduled, questionnaire filled out, retainer paid, all those things would be here. And as your client moves through the workflow, they will also move through these statuses. But that needs to be set up ahead of time. Here is a sample client. If you create a contact form through Dubsado, you can embed that with a quick and easy code into your website, and when they fill it out, all of their information is going to land right here. So it's quick and easy. You don't have to copy and paste anything. And it's one less step that you have to do. So this is where all the things related to that client is going to live. So any emails that you send, again, if it's connected to your Gmail account, it'll be here. So you can see all of your history. Invoices. This is where all your forms you can add from your template section, which we'll get into in a little bit. Any appointments specific to that client. And then this is kind of where the meat of your work is going to be, is with your workflow. And I'll show you my workflow in my account here shortly, but this is where that'll live, and you'll kind of move through the different steps of your process. And then any tasks related to that workflow that'll show up as like to-dos, and then any notes that you would like to add. You can also track your time through Dubsado, and you can use that right here in the time tracker. And these will automatically, when you tell it which invoice to go to, it'll go to that direct client. So if you choose to do all of your time tracking through Dubsado, that is a possibility. Okay, next is reporting. Dubsado does a great job with keeping track of more of your service related payments. So what I recommend to my clients is that you can invoice for things like your discovery call, or not your discovery call, your consultation call, maybe your initial retainer. But after that, I suggest that you use either QuickBooks or a platform like Ivy or MyDoma to collect payment for the furnishing and the design specific related things so that you can change the markup, you can control the taxes, all that kind of stuff. And that's really easy in that you just copy and paste the URL link and you embed it as a button in the email. So it makes it look cohesive, but it's directing them to outside of Dubsado. But you can still use Dubsado to get that email out. And also with Dubsado, you can see when people have viewed your emails, which is super helpful. Yes. Let's see, what else? Calendar. So here, if my calendar was connected to this account, this is a demo account, it would show up everything that I have on my calendar here. All of my appointments, anything I've put directly into my Gmail calendar would be all right here. Next, we've got this list, which if you had forms created, it would be all right here. You can kind of see what everything is at a high level, who's sent them, who's completed them, all that kind of stuff. This is where you really will live. Here and in your projects is where most of my clients spend their time. So here are the schedulers. What I love about these is that these can live in your website if you choose. They also are really powerful in that they can be connected to other things. So for example, if you have a discovery call and you would like to collect some additional information before they book that call, you can attach an additional form, and that would allow you to attach that questionnaire. Also, say you have something that lives on your website that you'd like them to go see, you can redirect them to that URL. For your consultations that are paid, you can attach an invoice, and so they can't schedule that call without paying that invoice. Also nested into this is notifications, so you can have reminder emails. Schedulers are a really powerful tool that allows you to automate a lot of things all in one. So what this scheduler does is you tell it when you are available, and then when your client views that scheduler, it's going to see the available times that you have selected. So then they're not going to be able to choose anything outside of those. And it's also double checking against your other calendar that you've connected so that it won't double book you. Here are your forms. You have contracts, which Dubsado only wants you to have one contract connected to your account at a time, but you can get around that by using sub-agreements. These two have signing capabilities. You have your questionnaires, you have your proposals, and you have the lead capture, which is what would be living in your website. So let me go to my account and show you what's there. So for my form, it decides to load. Okay, so here is a contract. You can put in whatever you like. There's a couple ways that people do it. You can drag things into here and kind of compile things that way. You can also create things in Canva, save it as an image, and create a really beautiful image of a lot of your parts, whether it's your proposal or your contract, to make it look all pretty. And then you put it in here and you have the signing field at the end. What you would need to do is make sure that any parts that Dubsado can pull in for you automatically would live outside of that Canva document so that those items can be pulled. So Dubsado allows you to have the e-signatures, which is amazing, and then these live in your client project. That is all for contracts. Sub-agreement would be if you needed to change your proposal, or maybe you need an LOA or something like that. An additional sub-agreement can be drafted here. Your questionnaires can also be really specific. I love that they have drop-down boxes, check boxes, short answers, long answers, yes and no questions. You can really tailor it to however you would like. So that is one of my questionnaires. And then proposals. Proposals, like schedulers, are one of the most powerful tools in Dubsado. So you can attach the proposal to the contract to the invoice, and it can all act as one document, and the client can tab through one and through the other so that they never leave that document, and they complete all those steps with one button, decreasing the amount of emails that are sent and keeping it a really fluid and and really great client experience. It's very professional. So here's the proposal that I have created for my business. And again, this is where I see a lot of people use Canva documents to make it look pretty. And then in your settings, this is where you would attach your contract, you would attach the invoice. There's a lot of different settings there for you. The other thing to note is that with questionnaires right here, you can also upload PDFs. So these can live here and you can use them in your emails, or send them directly to the portal so that they're there for your clients to see that way. That's another thing is portals. You can use your design platform portals, or you could choose to use Dubsado's platform. And I can show you that here in a little bit. But this here is my document, and it lives right here. But it's within Dubsado, which just makes it really easy. And then for your lead capture, this here is living on my website. And what I find really useful is that for when you have multiple services, what you do is you attach your workflows to those services so that when your client chooses which service they are wanting, it immediately generates that workflow for that client without you ever having to touch anything. So it's really helpful for you to know your process and to know how things are different so that the appropriate items can be created into a workflow and automatically generated there. There's also more additional settings here. Okay. Canned emails. Canned emails are templates that are connected to your workflow, and they can also be pulled at any time to send manually. So this is really helpful because you're not having to copy and paste anything. They're all right here, quick and easy to grab. So for example, I'm here in a sample client, and I can click on this little bookmark here, and it pulls up all of the emails that are in my canned emails. It also can pull any forms that are attached to this client to allow to drop right in here. So it makes it super easy. Yeah, I love it. So what we do is when I'm working with you, I have you create all of your emails and we number them from beginning to end so that we know exactly how they flow through your workflow. And these here, when you see these, it is showing that it is a smart field, and these smart fields are pulling any information that you have currently loaded into Dubsado. So it'll live like that, but Dubsado will be able to pull that information so that you're not having to copy and paste. Same with your signature. Next is your packages. So here you would create anything. You can have any sort of detail underneath as line items. Any kind of description all would live here. And these can be put into your proposals so that client can select them and be able to be invoiced directly from there. Workflows. I know it looks a little bit scary, but I promise it's really easy as you get into it. For my Dubsado setup specifically, this is what we're going to look at. But I'll speak to your process a little bit in a more general manner. So first thing that I have it do is change the project status. That's saying that it is going to be a Dubsado lead. For you, it would be a particular service lead. If you have more than one kind of service, you can also tag it so that it's like e-design or full service, designer in a day. Those tags could be added right away if your lead capture form is set up to automatically take your client on a particular workflow. Next, I send out the discovery call email. This has my welcome packet and a link to the scheduler. So same for you, you would have your investment guide and a link to the scheduler. It might also have a questionnaire attached to it. From there, for you guys, you would have another call for your consultation. It would go out with another email, and you could have your invoice linked to that. So they would just go boom, boom, all completed in one button's push, really. So I have some to-dos. These are sent directly to my email, and I can even put in client name. So if I was to do that, I would get an email and I would be told edit proposal and contract for so-and-so. And that would allow me to see from my email level what is needed to be done, especially if we're dealing with multiple clients at a time. Next, we send out the proposal. Maybe that for you is the scope of work, and it is already set up in templates to have it connected to maybe your contract and the initial retainer invoice. Lots of people do it differently, so there's no right way to do it. It's just your personal preference. But I do find that there's a lot of these approval buttons for full service designers, because while you can have a template, there are things that are constantly changing. So you're going to have to change your proposal. You're going to have to change your contract. Even though you have a template living there, you're going to have to create specific details for that. So this allows you to do that and to make sure that you have the chance to manually trigger that next step once you've completed those prior actions. So for me, I need to edit the proposal and contract. That goes to my email. I say, okay, I've done it. I click yes, and then I click approve so that the next steps can go. We can have any reminders through here or set up directly within some of your other forms. Another scheduler, other to-dos. So I see to-dos for like add client to Monday or ClickUp or Ivy. All of those kinds of to-dos can live here as well. And Dubsado is really great for your onboarding process and your offboarding process, and perhaps like check-in points throughout the design process. But it kind of it takes you through till the signed paid client, and then you're going to want to pick up with either a design platform or a project management platform to take you through all the nitty-gritty parts of your design. And then Dubsado can kind of do your closing out offboarding process. So I have another call here, and then I send a form for feedback as well. So for you, that may look like sending out a contract. They might make some tweaks and then you send it back again. You can use the portal, which again I need to show you, to upload documents, upload images. Communication is not, there's not like a chat within the portal, but there are emails and they can see all that stuff there. So let me pull that up for you and show you how the portal can function adjacent to your workflow. All right, so this is my portal. You can customize this banner. There's different ways to go about it. This is what it looks like on the client end. So they can, if you would rather not send them a whole bunch of emails, and if you would like to direct them always to their portal, you can do that and say, you know, your forms are in your portal. So all these things are living here. They can click on them. This is my old stuff from a while ago. They can fill out those forms there. They can see the emails all right here that we've communicated with. They can see their appointments and their contracts, any kind of documents. And then they can see anything, any information that I have as far as their contact information, and they can update it here. So this is really useful. It's up to you whether or not you choose to use the design platform, like I said, for those features or this. The design platform works really great if you're using it to have specific approval items. It's really intuitive that way because you already have those items in, say, Ivy, and those can be easily pulled. But if you're not using it in that way, then you could use a thing like a questionnaire to upload those items, and they can select approve in like a checkbox for those things. You could upload it into your portal and they can submit it that way. So there are ways to go around it. So yeah, I think that's most of the details for your proposal. Let me show you settings. Dubsado is really great in that it allows you to have your branding. So you can change your form link buttons, you can change your logo, you can change what your dashboard looks like a little bit. This is where you would edit your portal stuff. There are lots of different details here. So Dubsado has so many options for you. Remember that they are catering to many different industries, so they have options that do not apply to you. They have ways of doing things that wouldn't make sense for your business. So what I do is I help you figure out your process. We map it all out. We come up with a list of all of your content items and all of your emails, and I help you build it into Dubsado in a way that works for your business. and really takes off a lot of that business admin things that you would be having to do manually. So I would love to speak with you if you have more questions. I'm an open book. I have blog posts on my website, hannahboyer.com, and you can find me also on Instagram at Hannah Boyer & Company.